let's talk about MAC filters. Now, every network card has a physical address known as a MAC address, right? Which is a 12-digit hexadecimal number, correct? So it's a 12-digit hexadecimal number. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know what a MAC address is, right? So I'm not going to go in detail of that. Now, there are like most vendors in the Wi-Fi world, they provide MAC filtering capabilities on their access points, right? So this capability is pretty much on the access point or a controller if they are running one. MAC filters can be configured to either allow or deny traffic from a specific MAC address. Okay, so MAC filtering is basically doing either allowing or denying traffic from a specific MAC address, right? That's what it is doing. So most MAC filters apply restrictions that will allow traffic only from a specific client station to pass through based on their MAC addresses. Now, how it works is, if I want to associate or authenticate to the SSID, if MAC filtering is enabled on the SSID, it's a layer 2 security mechanism. First of all, it's a layer 2 security mechanism or authentication mechanism, right, which is based on the MAC address, and MAC address of course is a layer 2 So how it works is they create a list of some MAC addresses called maybe a MAC list or a whitelisting list or whatever, and they enter some MAC addresses. Let's say I enter 12 or 15 of them which I want to connect on the SSID. Now only these MAC addresses will be allowed to connect or authenticate and be able to pass traffic onto the distribution system that is on the wired side, right? So basically you get onto the Wi-Fi network only if you have the right MAC address which is mentioned in this white list. This is how most vendors implement MAC listing or MAC filtering, right? Now the problem with this is it used to work fine initially, like I would say 10 years back it used to work fine. Now the reason why we're discussing this in legacy.11 authentication mechanisms is because it is very easy to spoof the MAC address. Very easy. Any amateur hacker can do that. Okay, I can come to your area, I can start a sniffer capture, I can get the MAC address of your device, and I can configure my network card, Wi-Fi card, to get your MAC address with your MAC address, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Very easy to spoof your MAC address. Now if I spoof your MAC address, I can easily get into your network and access your resources, right? That's why it's a bad way to implement security on the WLAN on layer 2. So it's not considered at all a reliable mean of security for wireless enterprise. Not reliable at all. Okay, so not reliable for enterprise security, right? Now nowadays there is a concept called of MAC randomization, right? There are certain networks in which I still see this implemented. MAC filtering is still implemented. Not very long back there is a concept of MAC randomization that came out, which talks about how a client, when associates to an access point, every time changes the MAC address of Wi-Fi, right? So now let's say for example I authenticate to the access point, my MAC address is AA, BB, CC, DD and so on and so forth. I disconnect, go out, I come back, the next time I authenticate to the same AP, okay, I'll choose a different randomized Wi-Fi MAC address. It might become something else, BB, AA, CC, DD, FF, whatever, something else. Now my MAC is randomized, okay, I have a different Wi-Fi MAC now. Imagine a network configured. This is basically implemented nowadays. It has been implemented by Apple. Windows give you an option, Android also is using it. Now imagine a network which is configured with MAC addresses only allows 10 devices to connect onto the network, and this MAC randomization kicks in. Now the first time the client connects is going to connect fine because he has the same MAC address mentioned in this list. The next time when he comes to connect, he has a randomized MAC which is not in this list, and he's going to fail authentication, right? So the clients will start to fail authentication. Now it's high time we move away from MAC filtering. It is not a reliable source at all. Even without MAC randomization, it's still a very unreliable source or unreliable way to implement wireless security over enterprises. You should move away and probably go to more secure authentication mechanisms like maybe .1x or pre-shared keys, which we will again discuss in the next chapter or so. But yeah, move away from MAC filtering as much as you can. Please do not, if you have a system deployed with running MAC filtering, try to move away from that as soon as possible. Just, I know it's not easy for high strong big networks to do that, but your network is going to be completely compromised, and I think it's high time you move away from that. Okay, so in the next video we'll talk about SSID cloaking, which is also in a way called hidden SSID. We'll talk about that as well in the next video. Okay.